ट्री है त एग्रोफरेस्ट्रीको विषयमा The term agroforestry comes from two English words, okay? Agriculture and forestry. Agroforestry is intensive land use management combining tree or shrubs with crop and livestock. Okay, agroforestry is a collective name and a use system involving tree combined with crop and animal on the same unit of land. Agroforestry has three components: forestry, agriculture, and livestock. The combination of these components is known as agroforestry. International Center for Research on Agroforestry. Okay. 1982 defined agroforestry system as a land use system that integrate tree with agriculture crops and or animal simultaneously or sequentially to get higher productivity and more economic returns and better social and economic benefit on a sustainable yield basis that are obtained from monoculture on the same unit of land, especially under condition of low level of technological input on marginal site. A principle of agroforestry: productive, protective, ameliorative and livelihood improvement principle है त productive agroforestry system has capacity to produce food crop fruit leaf litters timber fuels wood and fodder. Protective agroforestry help to minimize the degradation of the farmland and other natural resource by working as shelter belt. Okay. Ameliorative agroforestry system with legume tree and crop help to maintain or improve the productivity of land. Sorry. Livelihood improvement. Okay. In, income can be generated from the sale of forest and agriculture product. Okay. Then objective of agroforestry: to minimize overall production of food, to maximize the overall production of food fruit woody crop and fodder and forage including livestock per unit area. त्यसपछि to provide support for conservation soil conservation water and other resources including soil productivity, to improve local environment, to enhance the socio-economic condition of the farmer. Okay. And finally to improve the livelihood of farmers. Okay. Advantage and disadvantage. So advantage: increase space utilization and increase productivity, risk reduce risk of complete crop failure, physical support for herbaceous climber, positive use of the site. Okay. And त्यसपछि सोसियो इकोनोमिक बायोलोजिकल त्यसपछि सोसियो इकोनोमिकमा चाहिँ इन्क्रिज इन्कम अपर्च्युनिटिज पोटेन्सियल फर इम्प्रुभ ह्युमन न्युट्रिन्स, त्यसपछि क्रोप डाइभर्सिटी एन्ड रिड्युस इस्टाब्लिसमेन्ट कस्ट and reduce pressure on forest and promote livestock development. Okay. And disadvantageमा चाहिँ बायोलोजिकल इन्क्रिज कम्पिटिसन, त्यसपछि ह्याबिटाट अर अल्टरनेटिभ्स होस्ट फर प्लान्ट. ओके. त्यसपछि सोसियो इकोनोमिक डिसएडभान्टेज: ट्री compete with crops, sunlight, space, moisture, nutrients is etc. Part of cropland is occupied. Okay. And agroforestry we can see Agroforestry systems are forest based agroforestry system र farm based agroforestry system. Okay, both are forest based agroforestry system मा चाहिँ silvopastoral, togia, shifting cultivation and hortisilviculture STSH silvopasture, togia system, shifting cultivation र hortisilviculture. फार्म बेस्ड एग्रोफरेस्ट्री सिस्टममा चाहिँ वुडलट एग्रो सिल्भिकल्चरल सिल्भो फिसरी एपिकल्चर सेरिकल्चर होम गार्डन इज द फार्म बेस्ड एग्रोफरेस्ट्री WASH होम गार्डन सेरिकल्चर एपिकल्चर एग्री सिल्भिकल्चर सिल्भो फिसरी र वुडलट. ओके, and structure basis of classification. Okay, structure basis of classification agroforestry लाई चाहिँ यता छ फरेस्ट, यता लाइभ स्टक, यता छ एग्रिकल्चर. ओके, अब फरेस्ट एन्ड एग्रिकल्चरको कम्बाइन एग्री सिल्भिकल्चरल सिस्टम, हर्टी सिल्भिकल्चरल सिस्टम र एग्री हर्टिकल्चर सिस्टम. ओके, त्यसपछि सिल्भिलर लाइभ स्टक सिल्भी पास्चरल सिस्टम, त्यसपछि सिल्भी फिसरी अर एक्वा सिल्भिकल्चर. ओके, त्यसपछि एग्रिकल्चर एन्ड लाइभ स्टक एग्री सिल्भी पास्चरल सिस्टम. ओके, एग्री सिल्भी पास्चरल सिस्टम. देन एग्रोफरेस्ट्री क्यान बी क्लासिफाइड. के कुरामा क्लासिफाइड गर्न सकिन्छ त भन्दाखेरि बाई कम्पोनेन्टको आधारमा चाहिँ वाट आर द कम्पोनेन्ट अफ ट्री क्रप पास्चर एन्ड अदर कम्पोनेन्ट ट्री प्लस क्रप एग्रो सिल्भिकल्चर, ट्री प्लस पास्चर सिल्भो पास्चरल फडर एन्ड ट्री प्लस क्रप प्लस पास्चर एग्रो सिल्भी पास्चरल, ट्री प्लस फ्रूट ट्री भेजिटेबल अर्नामेन्टल हर्टो सिल्भी पास्चरल, ट्री प्लस फिस सिल्भो फिसरी, ट्री प्लस बी एपिकल्चर, ट्री प्लस सिल्कवाम सेरिकल्चर. ओके, बाई फङ्सनको आधारमा बाई फङ्सन प्रोडक्टिभ एन्ड प्रोटेक्टिभ फङ्सन, बाई टेम्पोरर एरेन्जमेन्ट टेम्पोरर र पर्मानेन्ट टेम्पोरर र पर्मानेन्ट भन्ने भयो. एन्ड टेम्पोररी चाहिँ साइक्लिक अर सिफ्टिङ कल्टिभेसन टगिया सिस्टम भयो. त्यही पर्मानेन्टमा रेगुलर क्रोप अर ट्री एन्ड क्रोप भयो. बाई स्पेसियल एरेन्जमेन्ट प्याटर्न अफ ट्री मिक्समा चाहिँ एज इन होम गार्डन चाहिँ मिक्स भयो. त्यसपछि मिक्स स्पेस एज इन मोस्ट सिस्टम अफ ट्री इन पास्चर टु एलो ग्रेटर फडर भयो. स्ट्राइप विथ अफ स्ट्राइप टु बी मोर देन वान ट्री. ओके, ट्री डी बाउन्डरी एन्ड सिल्भो पास्चरल ट्री प्लस पास्चर एनिमल. ओके, डिफाइन एज growing of tree and grasses or forage species together in the same land at the same time. Okay, this system is common in all agroecological zone of Nepal. त्यसपछि where land is marginal for crops production in middleमा चाहिँ middle region land having grasses is known as खरबारी, tree grown इन खरबारी इन डिफरेन्ट रिजन. ओके, त्यसपछि इकोलोजिकल जोनमा तराईमा चाहिँ स्पिसिस सिसो इक्यालिप्टस एन्ड इपिलिपिल. त्यसपछि गएर हिलमा चाहिँ मेनली फडर ट्री इज सच एज बडहर, टाँकी, कोइरेलो, इपिलिपिल एन्ड टिम्बर स्पिसिस लाइक चिलाउने. एन्ड माउन्टेनमा चाहिँ फडर ट्री स्पिसिस लाइक गोगन, दुधिल्लो, खस्रो. ओके, एन्ड अर्को छ एग्री सिल्भिकल्चरल सिस्टम tree and crop है त tree र cropलाई it is defined as growing of tree and agriculture crops together in same land at the same time. This system is combined in all agroecological zone of Nepal where agriculture crops are grown in trays flat and tree are grown in trays bonds border and slopes. इकोलोजिकल जोन स्पिसिस तराईमा चाहिँ सिसो इप्कालिप्टस बकाइनो एन्ड इपिलिपिल हिलमा चाहिँ मेनली फडर ट्री स्पिसिस बडहर टाकी कोइरालो इपिलिपिल एन्ड टिम्बर चिलाउने एन्ड माउन्टेनमा फडर ट्री सचेस गोगन दुधिलो एन्ड खस्रो ओके हर्टी सिल्भिकल्चरमा छौँ हर्टी सिल्भिकल्चर ट्री प्लस फ्रुट vegetable ornament defined as growing of fruit tree or ornamental tree together in same land at the same time. Common in Tarai and Inner Tarai and Mid Hill of Nepal. Tarai, Inner Tarai, Mid Hill of Nepal. Where trees such as sisong, eucalyptus, bakaino, ipilipil are grown around fruit orchard that act as shelter. Okay. In eastern Nepal, cardamom is planted as a understory with उत्तिस कार्डममलाई चाहिँ अन्डरस्टोरी विथ उत्तिसको ठाउँमा त्यसपछि इन सिमिलरली सिरिस एन्ड सिसो आर planted for providing shade to tree and इपिलिपल सिरिस एन्ड सिसो चाहिँ टी एन्ड इपिलिपल टीको लागि रहेछ एन्ड इपिलिपल इज बेस्ट ट्री फर प्रोभाइडिङ सेड टु कफी इपिलिपल चाहिँ कफीको लागि है त त्यसपछि छ एग्री हर्टी सिल्भिकल्चर सिस्टम ओके एग्री हर्टी सिल्भिकल्चर सिस्टम agriculture crops or a fruit plus tree. This system is defined as growing of agriculture crops, tree and fruit tree or ornamental tree or vegetable flow together in same land at the same time. And this system is common in home garden of mid hill, Tarai and inner Tarai of Nepal, where fodder trees such as Badahar, Taki, Ipilipil, etc. and timber and firewood species such as Sisson, Eucalyptus, Bakaino, etc. are grown around fruit orchard that act as shelter belt. Okay, and agriculture crops such as ginger, turmeric, yam, and vegetables are grown under fruit tree. Silvo fishery tree plus fish growing up tree around fish pond is known as silvo fishery or aqua silviculture. In these systems tree and fruit tree are being planted along the embankment of the fish pond. This system is popular in Tarai and inner Tarai of Nepal, and where tree and fishes include in the system. Tree species growing along the embankment of fish pond are sisong, eucalyptus, bakaino, ipilipil, etc. and fruit species are banana, papaya and pineapples. And some farmers also include duck and pig in aqua silviculture systems. Sericulture tree plus silkworm production. Growing of mulberry tree for silk production is known as sericulture, in which mulberry leaves are used to feed the silkworm at larva stage for the production of silk. The cocoon of the silkworm is harvested for reeling the silk. त्यसपछि छ shelter belt and windbreak. Shelter belt is defined as belt of tree, एउटा belt of tree and shrub maintained for the purpose of shelter from hot, dry and cold wind, sun and snow drift to agriculture crops, fruit, livestock and farmhouse, etc. Shelter belt are also called protection belt, which cover large area than windbreak. Okay, windbreak defined as any obstacle that reduce wind velocity. Okay, this obstacle could be stone wall and or strip of living tree and shrubs to provide shelter to agriculture crops, fruit, livestock, and farm house etc. for from hot, dry, and cold winds, sun and snow drift. Okay, in Nepal, shelter belt and windbreak are maintained in Tarai and Inner Tarai, where strong hot and dry wind damage agriculture crop and fruit. Okay, for establishment of effective shelter belt or windbreak, 1 to 2 row of tree are planted at 2 meter row to row. Okay, 2 meter row to row. One to two row of tree are planted at 1 to 2 meter row to row distance, and 2 to 3 meter planted distance, plant to plant distance 2 to 3. त्यसपछि 1 to 2 row of tree are planted and at 1 to 2 meter row. Okay, and Eucalyptus camalduensis, त्यसपछि डलबर्गिया, एकासिया मेलिया एजेडिरेक्टा, ल्युकाना ल्युकोसेफाला, बाम्बुसा स्पिसिस आर प्लान्टेड एज विन्ड ब्रेक एन्ड सेल्टर बेल्ट. ओके, विन्ड ब्रेकको लागि र सेल्टर बेल्टको लागि यिनीहरू युज गर्छन्. होम गार्डन आर इस्टाब्लिस्ड नियर द होम for their food, vegetable, fruit, and fodder production of for aesthetic, ornamental value, and for religious purpose. It is multi-story type in which fodder and timber, tree, fruit, and vegetable are grown together. This system is common in both hill and Tarai belt of Nepal. Poor farmer in home garden like to grow more food crop and vegetables, while rich farmers plant and grow more ornamental tree and fruit. Okay, and एले क्रोपिङ अर्थात् हेजरो, हेजरो intercropping is a agroforestry practice in which perennial, preferably के त leguminous tree or shrubs are grown simultaneously with arable crops. Okay, त्यसपछि hedgerow distance should be maintained 4 to 8 meter. Hedgerow distance 4 to 8 meter and plant to plant distance from 25 centimeter to 2 मिटरसम्म हुन्छ. hedgerow should be developed across the slope of the land. hedgerow develop गर्नु पर्यो. Leucana species Epilipil artocarpus lacosa morosalba are some of the suitable species. Trogia system. Trogia is Burmese word which means strong hill and cultivation, hill cultivation. Trogia system like hill cultivation भन्छ Burmese, but this system is well adopted in plain area Myanmar, Bangladesh, India and Nepal. Established in 1850s बर्माबाट, एडोप्टेड बाई इन्डिया इन वेस्ट बेङ्गाल 1990मा चाहिँ वेस्ट बेङ्गाल इन्डियामा आयो. इन नेपाल दिस सिस्टम हेज बिन स्टार्टेड 1972 तामागढी अफ बारा डिस्ट्रिक्ट. दिस प्र्याक्टिस कन्सिस्ट अफ ल्यान्ड प्रिपरेसन, ट्री प्लान्टिङ एन्ड ग्रोइङ अफ एग्रिकल्चर क्रप्स फर 2 to 3 year until the set becomes too dense. Okay, we can find 3 type of Trogia agroforestry system, that are departmental Trogia, institutional lease Trogia र village Trogia. In Trogia species are planted at 2 into 4 meter, 2 into 4 meter, 2 into 4. Woodlot. Small scale woodlot is practiced in eastern and central Nepal to meet timber demand in rapidly growing urban and metropolitan area. The famous species are Sallo, Chirpine, Uttis, Sisung, Teak, Kadam, Neolanarchia, Kadamba, Bocaino, Eucalyptus series, which are relatively faster growing species, normally fast growing species. अब छ shifting cultivation. This is a low input agriculture practice and flow management which is common practice in Asia. This system also known as slash and burning agriculture. Slash and burning agriculture पनि भनिन्छ, in which forest land is cleared through cutting and burning for agriculture. In this system, few big trees are left as such as shade. Okay, the main characteristic of these forms of agriculture are slash and burn, shifting from one path to another, and rotation of cultivation. Shifting cultivation is practiced in Nepal eastern region often on very steep slopes. Generally, farmers grow agriculture crops in such land for 2 to 3 yearsसम्म पनि यसलाई गर्छन्, 2 देखि 3 वर्षमा. एग्रिकल्चर एग्रोफरेस्ट्री सिस्टम एन्ड सिस्टम युनिट इन नेपाल. एग्रोफरेस्ट्री सिस्टम डिस्क्रिप्सन एन्ड एरेन्जमेन्ट कम्पोनेन्ट एग्रो इकोलोजिकल जोन. Series र टी. Series and टी is tree under series. Tree under series. Tree is random mix pattern. Random mix pattern मा हुन्छ तराई इन इस्टर्न नेपाल. ओके, त्यसपछि टी को साइन्टिफिक नाम कामेलिया साइनेन्सिस. त्यसपछि सिसौँ र टी. सिसौँ र टी चाहिँ tree under sisong. Tree is random mix pattern eastern तराई. उत्तिस र टी. Tree under उत्तिस random mix pattern mid hill in eastern Nepal. Betel nut, आरिका, क्याटेचु र कार्डमम है त मिक्स गर्ने चाहिँ कार्डमम, इलिटारिया कार्डामम अन्डर बेटेल नट, एक्रिका क्याटेचु, प्लान्टेड इन रेगुलर स्पेसिङ अफ 3 into 4 meter, 3 into 4 meter square. तराई इज इस्टर्न नेपाल. एन्ड बेटल नट, एक्रिका क्याटेचु, बकाइनो, मेलिया डिरेक्टा, सिरिस एल्बेजिया एन्ड सिसौँ डलबर्गिया क्रोप्स चाहिँ यिनी सबै लाउने चाहिँ बेटल नट एन्ड मेज, राइस, भेजिटेबल इन्टरक्रोपिङ, टी अन बोर्डरतिर है त गर्छन्. त्यसपछि तराई इस्टर्न तराईतिर. एन्ड 6 मा छ टी उत्तिस, लोथसल्ला चाहिँ टी है त. टी अन्डर उत्तिस होइन, लोथसल्ला इन ऱ्यान्डम मिक्स प्याटर्न है त. मिड हिल इन इस्टर्न तराई. उत्तिस एल्लस नेपालेन्सिस र कार्डामम इलिटारिया कार्डामम मिड हिल इस्टर्न एन्ड सेन्ट्रल नेपाल. त्यसपछि छ हाम्रो कार्डमम चाहिँ अन्डर उत्तिस इन मिक्स ऱ्यान्डम प्लान्टिङ. ओके, सेन्ट्रल नेपालमा रहेछ. त्यसपछि उत्तिस एल्लस नेपालेन्सिस अम्लिसो. ओके, अम्लिसो मिडिल इन इस्टर्न एन्ड सेन्ट्रल अलिकति यो बुझेको छैन यसलाई हेर्ने किताबमा एन्ड यो पनि बुझ्दैन एन्ड सिल्भो फिसरी ट्री विथ मल्टिपर्पोज ट्री कन्ट्रोल अलिअलि यो बुझेको छैन टिम्बर ट्री बनाना अन बोर्डर अफ बनाना अफ यो पनि बुझ्या होइन अलि एन्ड हामी चाहिँ एग्रो सिल्भो पास्टरल कम्पोनेन्ट है त रिठा ट्री सेन्ट्रल एन्ड भेजिटेबल ओके सेन्ट्रल क्रप cereal crop maize wheat millet lentil and vegetable grow on bare air under natural growing and widely spaced here middle in far west उत्तिस चिलाउने फडर ट्री मेज ओके मेज एज एले क्रॉप्स naturally growing उत्तिस चिलाउने and fodder on trace rice middle in eastern central Nepal उत्तिस चिलाउने fodder tree as ele crops naturally growing उत्तिस चिलाउने and fodder on trace rice middle in eastern Nepal उत्तिस चिलाउने fodder tree cardamom is a crops naturally growing units and chilaune simawalichi and fodder on trace rice middle in eastern Nepal okay and multi-purpose tree fodder grasses amriso Thysanolina latifolia for grass and brome fodder grasses and multi-purpose tree in mixed random planting mid-hill central Nepal fodder tree banana animal goat cut and carry banana on trace fodder tree on trace अलिकति बुझिएन मिडिलतिर हुन्छ त्यसपछि साथमा fodder tree banana ginger animal goat cut and carry banana and ginger on trains यो अलि बुझेन अब 8 मा के छ 8 मा छ उत्तिस चिलाउने fodder tree ginger अम्रिसो Thysanolina latifolia as ele crops naturally growing उत्तिस चिलाउने and fodder on trace rice middle in eastern and central Nepal and woodlot अब छ woodlot small scale woodlot okay agroforestry system or practice small scale woodlot description and arrangement of component eastern Nepal कदम नार्दो स्थित नियोलामार्किया काडम्बा कदम टिक्टोना ग्रान्डिस सिसौँ डलबर्गिया मोलाटो प्लान्टागो मोलाटो उत्तिस एल्नस नेपालेन्सिस सल्लो पाइसे सिरिज अल्बिजिया सेन्ट्रल नेपाल एन्ड सल्लो उत्तिस चिलाउने साल सिरिज and agroecological zone eastern and central Nepal middle and तराई okay त्यसपछि सिल्भो पास्टरल animal and tree okay fodder tree ginger animal goat cut and carry okay fodder tree ginger and animal ginger on trace fodder tree on trace riser and goat कटेन्ट क्यारी सिस्टम रहेछ है त यो mid hill and central Nepal. Fodder tree, Amriso animal, goat, cut and carry. Amriso on trace, fodder tree on trace, riser and goat, cut and क्यारी सिस्टम, कट एन्ड क्यारी सिस्टम अरे. त्यसपछि मिडिल सेन्ट्रल नेपाल एन्ड फोस्रो ट्री, सिरियल, मेज, राइस, व्हिट, मिलेट, lentil and vegetable, goat and cattle, cut and carry system. Cereal crops, maize, wheat, millet, lentil and vegetables grown on trace vary under naturally growing and widely space for so tree, goat, cattle and buffalo in cord carry system. Middle far western Nepal. Okay. and betel nut goat grazing. Okay. Tethered goat grazing under mature betel nut, Erica catechu, Tara eastern Nepal. And fodder tree, fodder grasses, animal goat and tethered and free range goat grazing, open grazing and cut and carry systems, all middle. Tree apiculture. Okay. Bee keep in home state, feeding on farm, tree and commonly forest, community forest, mid hill central Nepal. And small woodlot grasses, animals, terrain and cut and carry systems. Naturally grown fodder grasses under woodlot, animal and terrain and cut and carry system. Mid hill far west far west. Silvi okay, silvi system, shifting cultivation, shifting cultivation, cleaning and burning of fallow land and or public forest, then planting of cereal, maize and millet and vegetable in 3 to 5 years cultivation, eastern Nepal and central Nepal मा छ. त्यसपछि एग्रो फरेस्ट्री डिजाइन एन्ड डी diagnosis and design. D&D is a systematic methodology developed by ICRAP, okay, to initiate, monitor and evaluate agroforestry program. Initiate गर्छ, monitor गर्छ र evaluate के गर्छ, EME. okay, agroforestry program it is based on the philosophy that knowledge of the existing situation, diagnostic is essential to plant, implement and evaluate with effective program in agroforestry research for development. The key feature of D&D method: flexibility, speed, repetition. Okay, flexibility, FSR. key featureहरू चाहिँ flexibility, speed and repetition. Flexibility, D&D is a flexible discovery procedure which can be adopted to fit the need and resource of different users. Speed, D&D has been designed with the option of rapid appraisal, okay, application at the planning stage of project with in-depth follow-up during project implementation. Repetition, D&D is an open-ended learning process since initial design can almost always be improved. The D&D process do not end until further improvement are no longer necessary. Okay. Criteria of good agroforestry design: प्रोडक्टिभिटी, सस्टेनेबिलिटी र एडप्टेबिलिटी हुनु पर्यो। क्राइटेरिया अफ गुड एग्रो फरेस्ट्री डिजाइनको PSA पासा प्रोडक्टिभिटी, सस्टेनेबिलिटी एन्ड एडप्टेबिलिटी। बेसिक D&D प्रोसिड्युर फर प्रोजेक्ट प्लानिङ एन्ड इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन चाहिँ के हुनु, प्री डायग्नोस्टिक स्टेज। ओके, बेसिक डी एन्ड प्रोसिड्युर फर प्रोजेक्ट प्लानिङ एन्ड इम्प्लिमेन्टेसनमा के हुनु पर्यो भन्दाखेरि प्री डायग्नोस्टिक स्टेज, प्लानिङ द स्टडी, आइडेन्टिफाई अब्जेक्टिभ, स्पेसिफिक एरिया टु बी कभर, आइडेन्टिफाई कोलाबोरेटिङ इन्स्टिट्युसन एन्ड स्टाफ, सेलेक्ट एन्ड एडप्ट D&D मेथड टु बी युज। दुईमा छ रिजनल रिकन्सिनेन्स, आइडेन्टिफाई, म्याप एन्ड डिस्क्राइब मेजर ल्यान्ड युनिट एन्ड पपुलेसन डिस्ट्रिब्युसन, ल्यान्ड युज सिस्टम डिफरेन्सिएटेड एन्ड डिस्क्राइब salient land use systems, and make a first assessment of their constraint and problems, and make a first assessment of their agroforestry potential. त्यसपछि 4 मा छ साइट सेलेक्सन, सेलेक्ट ल्यान्ड युज सिस्टम फर प्रायोरिटी एटेन्सन बेस्ड अन सेभिरिटी अफ प्रब्लम्स, एग्रोफरेस्ट्री पोटेन्सियल, रिजनल रिप्रेजेन्टेटिभनेस। ओके, त्यसपछि सेलेक्ट साइट रिप्रेजेन्टेटिभ्स अफ द प्रायोरिटाइज सिस्टम्स, डायग्नोस्टिक स्टेज। बीमा छ डायग्नोस्टिक स्टेज। फर्स्टमा के छ हाम्रो प्री डायग्नोस्टिक स्टेज र डायग्नोस्टिक स्टेज। डायग्नोस्टिक स्टेज, डायग्नोस्टिक सर्वे, conduct field survey of representative management unit of identifying common land use strategy and problems, troubleshoot the production system to identify causal factor and constraint, investigate interaction among and within management unit and process in the जनरल ल्यान्ड युज। ओके, त्यसपछि 5 मा छ डायग्नोसिस, एनालाइसिस फिल्ड डाटा टु आइडेन्टिफाई की कन्स्ट्रेन्ट एन्ड इन्टरभेन्सन पोइन्ट फर डेभलपमेन्ट अफ सिस्टम्स पोटेन्सियल, एसएस सस्टेनेबिलिटी प्रब्लम्स एन्ड सिस्टम स्पेसिफिकेसन, लिस्ट सिस्टम स्पेसिफिकेसन and functional specification for intervention, design constraint and describe attribute of new technology, overall development strategy for the systems. Okay, then C ma cha technology design stage, candidate technology, select of candidate technology or possible include in the design। 8 मा छ टेक्नोलोजी स्पेसिफिकेसन, एसेसमेन्ट अफ द जनरल डिजाइन कन्सेप्ट फर एन इम्प्रुभ ल्यान्ड युज सिस्टम एन्ड डेभलपमेन्ट, एन्ड टेक्नोलोजी डिजाइन एक्स-एन्टी इभालुएसन एन्ड रिफाइनमेन्ट अफ proposed design. The activities of this stage may involve reiteration of the above step. D मा छ evaluation and redesign steps, ex-ante evaluation, redesign, check land user response to the design proposal, optional D&D verification survey, okay, and conduct a preliminary evaluation of the agroforestry design, compare with present land use and non agroforestry alternative in terms of that is productivity, biological potential, economical efficiency and diversity of production, and आइआईमा सस्टेनेबिलिटी, इन्भाइरोमेन्टल इम्प्याक्ट, रिसोर्स कन्जर्भेसन, त्यसपछि 3मा एडप्टेबिलिटी, फुलफिलमेन्ट अफ फेल्ट निड, कल्चरल कम्प्याटेबिलिटी, social distribution of benefit. Okay, and return to design state activity to make modification suggested by the preliminary elevation. Suitability classification छ, summarize system evaluation for each of the design agroforestry system and develop ex ante classification of sustainability for wider application. Combine these classification into suitability maps and tables for the study of an area or region as a whole. त्यसपछि यीमा छ प्लान्टिङ स्टेज रिसोर्स निड, एसएस रेडिनेस of each of the design technologies for direct extraction and need for further research. Compile integrated list of resource need, individual resource investigation, research and extension plan. 13मा research and extension plan, plan extension activities, integration of research and extension goal and activity, collaboration in research and extension network. F मा छ implementation, program implementation, continue to apply the interactives D&D process to refine prototypes agroforestry system on the basis of feedback from research and extension. And त्यसपछि छ institutionalize communication channels between different program component minimally by holding periodic meeting to pool experience and revise the plan of action in the light of new experience. Okay, rapid fire. Internationally, the International Development Research Center IDRC, Food and Agriculture Organization FAO, and Swedish International Development Authority SIDA has initiated research in agroforestry. The International Center for Research in Agroforestry ICRAF has been established in 1977 for agroforestry research and extension, and its head office is in Nairobi, Kenya. Tree plants are grown mostly under series Alwasia species, है त टी normally Alwasia species. In this system, farmer plant cardamom, Emomum subulatum, cardamom under Uttis tree. Cardamom required shade for good yield. Okay, ginger and turmeric are planted under eucalyptus, sisu and cassia saima. जिन्जरलाई एन्ड टर्मेरिक. त्यसपछि सिड, त्यसपछि अर्को छ सीड orchard is a special type of plantation consisting of clone or seedling from selected tree which are isolated to reduce pollination from outside source. Seed orchard should be located on a relatively flat terrain. A plus tree is that which has a superior phenotype for growth, farm wood quality, and appears to be adaptable but not tested genetically. The amount by which parent and progeny differ is called genetic variation. Okay, plus tree selection criteria must relate directly to breeding objectives. A seed stand is a stand of tree that has been managed and upgraded for seed production. Okay, the breeding seed orchard BSO design is characterized by the planting at a clone's initial spacing, following followed by progressives and highly selective thinning. Okay, BSO are robust, effective mean of implementing seed delivery oriented tree improvement program in Nepal. Okay, mass selection BOS are suitable for most of the commonly used species. Remote sensing is the acquisition of data about an object or sense by a sensor that is far from the object. Summer photographs are best for forest stand. Summer photograph is based on forest stand classification and measurement. Okay, winter photographs are best for engineering. Winter masa engineering. Pines were the most widely planted tree species in the Middle during 1917. Pinus species. टिस्यु कल्चर वाज स्टार्टेड इन नेपाल इन 1976बाट टिस्यु कल्चर आएको थियो नेपालमा. युकालिप्टस एन्ड सिसो आर द ओन्ली स्पिसिस प्रोपागेटेड बाई टिस्यु कल्चर टेक्निक्स. जनरली एनटिएपी आर हार्भेस्टेड बिट्विन अगस्ट एन्ड एडीमा चाहिँ एनटिएपी हार्भेस्ट गरिन्छ जनरली अगस्ट एन्ड डिसेम्बर एडीमा. सिल्भो पास्चरल सिस्टम अल्सो सर्भ एज फडर ब्याङ्क. सिल्भो पास्चरल सिस्टमलाई फडर ब्याङ्क पनि भनिँदो रहेछ है त. प्लान्टिङ अफ एक्जोटिक ट्री स्पिसिस फर एग्रो फरेस्ट्री पर्पोजेज इज मोर कमन इन तराई एन्ड मिडिल माउन्टेन. एन्ड अर्को छ आइडिआरसी इन्टरनेसनल डेभलपमेन्ट रिसर्च सेन्टर, एफएओ एन्ड सिडा स्विडिश इन्टरनेसनल डेभलपमेन्ट अथोरिटी, ICRF International Center for Research in Agroforestry. Growing 4 crops per year in square is called double cropping. Okay. Growing 4 crop per year in square is called double cropping. Agroforestry means growing agriculture crop with forest crops. The common agroforestry system adopted in mid-hill is LA cropping. LA cropping is also known as hedgerow intercropping. Okay, hedgerow intercropping. And LA LA cropping was developed at Ibadan, Africa in 1984. LA cropping चाहिँ इबाडा अफ्रिकामा 1984बाट. A combined tree, shrubs and animal production system is silvopastoral system. And good agroforestry should have productivity, adaptability and suitability. Sloping agriculture land use technology. SALT is a farming technology. SALT. Tongia, a Burmese word, is the farming system of middle. And agroforestry projects should be economically viable, socially acceptable, economically sound. Okay, the removal of substance from plant by aqueous solutions such as rain, dew and fog is called volatilization. When agricultural crops are grown in which the actual yield at both species is less than expected is known as competition. Okay, the forestry practice in private agriculture land is called farm forestry. The most important considerable in agroforestry is to identify agricultural crop and tree species, diagnosis and design D&D method. Data collection is developed in context of agroforestry. Zone rain tree evolve D&D method of or data collection. Okay, green revolution denote high productivity in agriculture. Green revolution denote high productivity in agriculture. ICRAF means the International Center for Research on Agroforestry. and the head office of ICRAF in Nairobi, Kenya. Agri-silviculture is combination of tree with agriculture crops. Apiculture is deal tree with bee. Sericulture deals tree with silkworm, and shifting cultivation is temporary system of agroforestry. The reeling of the silk is done in the stage of cocoon, and silk Sialic zone is suitable for cereal based production system. Sialic चाहिँ cereal based production system चाहिँ suitable छ. Middle mountain region is suitable for development of horticultural system. Middle mountain चाहिँ horticultural system मा brome grasses on trace razor are an example of agro silvicultural system, and Bombaxi muri is reared on the tree Morosalva, Bombaxi muri. Okay, and forest survey. We are reading forest survey. Survey is the science and art of determining determining the relative position of point above on or beneath the earth surface by means of direct or indirect measurement of distance, direction and elevation. Difference between plan and map. Plan and map है. The scale is relatively large. प्लान्समा स्केल रिलेटिभली लार्ज हुन्छ. म्यापमा स्केल इज क्विट स्मल. जनरली ओन्ली हराइजेन्टल डिस्टेन्स एन्ड डिरेक्सन आर सोन. हराइजेन्टल डिस्टेन्स एन्ड डिरेक्सन मात्रै सोन गर्छ प्लानमा. इन एडिसन टु दिस इलिभेसन इज रिप्रेजेन्टेड युजिङ कन्टुर हाचुरिङ चुर. ओके, इलिभेसन इज कन्टुरबाट थाहा हुन्छ या हाचुरबाट. Not mandatory to show it geographical position on the globe. जियोग्राफिकल पोजिसन चाहिँ सो गर्ने म्यान्डेटरी न. त्यसपछि म्यापमा चाहिँ द म्याप सो इट जियोग्राफिकल पोजिसन अन द म्याप ग्लोब अफ द ग्लोब. ओके, एन्ड क्याटेगोरी अफ सर्वे. सर्वेका क्याटेगोरी हेर्छु. प्लेन टेबल सर्वे, प्लेन सर्वे. सर्वे के त सर्वेइङ विथ द reference base for field work and computation are assumed to be a flat horizontal surface generally within a 12-mile radius. The pull of gravity is very nearly parallel to that at any other point within the radius, and thus horizontal lines can be considered straight. Spheroidal shape are neglected. Okay, and geographical survey, geodetic survey के भन्छ. सर्वेइङ टेक्निक्स टु डिटरमाइन relative position of the widely spaced point, length and direction which require the consideration of the size and shape of the earth. Okay, takes the earth curvature into account. Okay, geodetic curvature. Principle of survey. Location of a point by measuring from to point of reference. त्यसपछि वर्किङ फ्रम होल टु पार्ट. त्यसपछि टाइप अफ सर्वे. फोटोग्रामेट्री, बाउन्डरी र कन्ट्रोल सर्वे. कन्ट्रोल सर्वे, इन्जिनियरिङ सर्वे, टोपोग्राफिक सर्वे, रोड सर्वे, हाइड्रोग्राफिक सर्वे. ओके, अब सर्वेको टाइपहरू. फोटोग्रामेट्री, म्यापिङ युटिलाइजिङ data obtained by camera or other sensor carried in airplane or satellite. Boundary survey, establishing proper corner, boundary, and area of land parcel. Controlling survey establish of network or horizontal and vertical monument that serve as a reference framework for other surveying project. Okay. And अर्को छ engineering survey providing potential point and elevation for the building civil engineering project. Topographic survey collecting data and preparing map showing that location of natural man made feature and elevation of point of the ground for multiple use. Route survey topographic and other survey for long narrow project associated with civil engineer. Highway, railway, railroad, pipeline, and transmission line. Hydrographic survey mapping of shoreline and the bottom of body of water, also known as bathymetric survey. Okay. Chain survey is that type of surveying in which only linear measurements are made in the field. It is suitable for small extent survey on open ground with less detail. The principle of surveying, the principle of chain survey is chain triangulation. Okay, principle of chain survey is chain triangulation. It provide a skeleton or framework consisting of a number of connected triangles. A triangles is the only simple figure that can be plotted from the length of its side measured in field. Okay, survey station prominent point on the chain line. Okay, survey station prominent point on the chain line. Main station starting or ending station of forest of survey line is main station. Subsidiary or tie station lie anywhere on the chain line. Okay, survey line joining survey station as far as possible should not pass through obstacles. And अर्को छ main survey line चाहिँ the line joining the main survey station are called main survey line. Baseline the biggest of the main survey line is called baseline. Various survey stations are plotted with this line. Check or proof line are the line that are run in the field to check the accuracy of the work. The check line may be laid by joining the apex of the triangles to carry to any point on the opposite side, or by joining 2 points on any two sides of a triangles. Each triangles must have a check line. अब छ tie line. A tie line is a line which join subsidiary or tie station on the main line. The main purpose is to take the detail of nearly by object. Okay, offset is the lateral distance of an object or ground feature measured from a survey line. Okay, त्यसपछि perpendicular offset angle is equal to 90 degrees, simply called as offset. Oblique offset when the angle is other than 90 degree. By method of offset, the point or object is located by measurement of distance and angle, usually 90 degree, from a point on the chain line. Instrument used in chaining. के instrument use हुन्छ chaining मा? Chain, metric chain को विषयमा पढौँ हामीले. metric chain है त. metric chain are generally available in length 5, 10, 20 र 30. 5, 10, 20 एन्ड 30 मा चाहिँ मेट्रिक चेन मिल्दो रहेछ. 5, 10, 20, 30 मा. द The tally used for marking distance in the metric chain are marked with the letter M in the order to distinguish them from non-metric chain. Tallies are fixed at every meter length for chains of 5 के त 5 meter and 10 meter. Okay, length, and at every 5 meter for chain of 20 to 20 meter को र 30 meter length को बा. Brasses are used at every meter length in case of 20 देखि 20 र 30 मिटरको टेप बाहेक अरूमा. त्यसपछि छ गुन्टर चेन और सर्वेयर chain. A Gunter chain or surveyor chain is 66 feet long and consists of 100 link, each link being 0.6 feet or 7.92 inch long. Also, 10 Gunter chain is equals to 1 furlong and 80 Gunter chain is equals to 1 mile. Okay, and engineering chain. The engineering chain is 100 feet long and consists of 100 link, each link being 1 feet long. At every 10 links, brass tacks are fastened. The distance measure are recorded in feet and decimal. Okay, revenue chain is 33 feet long and consists of 60 links, each link being 21 by 16 feet long. The chain is mainly used for measuring field in cadastral survey मा यूज गर्छ रेभिन्यू चेनलाई है त. The steel band or band chain. Steel band consists of a long narrow stripe of blue steel of uniform width of 12 देखि 16 mm and thickness of 0.3 to 0.6 mm. Metric steel band are available in length of 20 देखि 30 मिटर सम्म हुन्छ available. It is divided by brass stump at every 20 centimeter and numbered at every meter. A steel band is lighter than the ordinary chain and used for accurate work, but disadvantage is that it is easily broken and difficult to prepare in the field. Okay, त्यसपछि टेप अर्को छ टेप. ओके, टेप are used for more accurate measurement. Okay, cloth or linen tape. It is rarely used for making accurate measurement. Okay, because it is easily affected by moisture, dampness, and thus shrink. It twist, tangle. It's not strong. Its width is 15 देखि 12 देखि 15 meter width and available at 10, 20, 25 and 30 meter मा available हुन्छ. And metallic chain tape, it does not stretch as easily as cloth tape. It's not easily broken and they are useful in cross sectioning and in some method of topography. Metallic tape are made in length of 2, 5, 10, 20, 30 and 50 meter. Okay, 2, 5, 10, 20, 30 and 50 meter. And steel tape, it consists of a light stripe of width 6 to 10 mm and is more accurately graduated. Steel tapes are available in length 1 to 10 to 20, 30, 50 meter. Okay, it is a delicate instrument and is very light and therefore cannot withstand rough use. Okay, invert tape अर्को छ invert tape. Invert tapes are used mainly for linear measurement of very higher degree proportion, such as measurement of baseline. बेसलाइन लिनियर टेप इन्भर्टेड बेसलाइन मेजरमेन्टको लागि इट इज मेड अफ येलो अफ निकेल्स चाहिँ 36% एन्ड स्टिल्स एन्ड हेज भेरी लो कोफिसियन्ट अफ थर्मल एक्सपान्सन है त इन्भार टेप आर नर्मली 6 mm वाइड एन्ड आर एभाइलेबल इन लेन्थ of 20, 30 and 100 meter. Okay, arrow. An arrow is insert into the ground after every chain length measure on the ground. Length of arrow may vary from 25 देखि 50 centimeter. The most common length being 40 centimeter diameter of circle of arrow 50 millimeter die of steel wire 4 mm. Okay. पेग अर्को छ पेग है त वुडन पेग आर युज टु मार्क द पोजिसन अफ द स्टेसन अर टर्मिनल पोइन्ट अफ अ सर्वे लाइन एन्ड लेन्थ इज 15 मिटर जनरली है त रेन्जिङ रड लेन्थ आइदर 2 or 3 meter. The 2 meter length being more common, they can be used for rough measurement of short length. Ranging rod are used to measure range some intermediate point in the survey line. Okay, ranging rod चाहिँ intermediate point in the survey line मा चाहिँ ranging rod. Ranging poles similar to ranging rod but longer in length 4 to 8 meter ranging pole हुन्छ and diameter from 6 to 10 centimeter diameter हुन्छ use in case of long line use हुन्छ and provided with large flag. Okay, offset rod common in length of 3 meter mainly used for measuring offset nearby or aligning the offset line wooden ones. Okay, त्यसपछि छ प्लास्टर लेथ used in intermediate point 1 meter long made of lining of softwood. They are also used for ranging out a line when crossing a depression from which the forward rod is invisible or when hidden by obstacles such as hedge. Okay, white piece of sharpened thin sticks cut from the nearest edge piece of the white paper are instead in the cleft in order to make them more visible. They are useful in cross sectioning or temporary marking of contour point. Okay, plumb bob, it is used to make ranging poles vertical and to transfer point from a line range to the ground. It is also used for centering in theodolite compass plane table survey. Okay, ranging and chaining. Ranging, the process of fixing or establishing intermediate point during changing is called ranging. अब डाइरेक्ट रेन्जिङ र इन्डाइरेक्ट रेन्जिङ. डाइरेक्ट रेन्जिङ इज डन when the two end of the survey line are intervisible. Okay, in such case ranging can either be done by eye through some optical instruments such as a line range theodolite. Line range consists of either two plane mirror or two right angles isosceles prism placed one above the other. Okay, indirect अर्थात reciprocal ranging, it is resorted to when both the end of the survey line are not intervisible. Okay, not intervisible either due to high intervening ground or due to distance between them. Okay, chaining, the operation of measurement of the length of the line with the help of a tape or chain is called chaining. The more experience of the true chain main remains at the zero end of the chain. Error due to incorrect chain. If the chain is too short, the measurement distance will be lost. The error will therefore be negative and the cross section correction will be positive. Similarly, if the chain is too short, the measured distance will be more. The error will be positive and the correction will be negative. And correction to measured length. Okay, measure length 1 into L is equals to 1 into L. Therefore, is equals to L by L into L by L. यसको फर्मुला यहाँ छ, यो सबको फर्मुला. ओके, एल जो चाहिँ एल छ यो चाहिँ ट्रू अर डिजाइनेटेड लेन्थ अफ द टेप अर अ चेन. ओके, त्यसपछि अर्को छ एल इनकरेक्ट लेन्थ अफ द टेप अर चेन. अर्को छ सानो एल मेजर लेन्थ अफ द लाइन. अर्को एल एक्चुअल अर ट्रू लेन्थ अफ द लाइन. ओके, स्केल अब चाहिँ हाम्रो स्केलिङको कुरा गर्छौँ. इट इज द फिक्स रेसियो द्याट every distance on the map plan bears with corresponding distance to the ground. NG न्युमेरिकल स्केल र ग्राफिकल स्केल हुन्छ दुईवटा. न्युमेरिकल स्केल इन्जिनियरिङ स्केल पनि भनिन्छ. 1 सेन्टिमिटर इज इक्वल्स टु 10 मिटर रेस्पेक्टिभली. फ्र्याक्सन 1:1000 1:2000 इन्डिपेन्डेन्ट अफ युनिट. ग्राफिकल स्केल लाइन सब डिवाइडेड इन्टु प्लान distance corresponding to convenient unit of length on the ground, always drawn on all survey maps. Okay, linear measurement is the basis of all survey and even through angle may be read preciously. The length of at least one line in a track must be measured to supplement the angle in locating poles. Then direct measurement of distance. पेसिङ डाइरेक्ट मेजरमेन्ट कसरी गर्न सकिन्छ त भन्दा पेसिङ प्यासोमिटर पेडोमिटर ओडोमिटर. पेसिङ पेडो ओडो एन्ड स्पेडोमिटर चेनिङ डाइरेक्ट मेजरमेन्ट गर्न सकिन्छ. इरर ड्यू टु इनकरेक्ट चेन. इफ द लेन्थ अफ द चेन युज इन मेजरिङ लेन्थ अफ द लाइन इज नट इक्वल टु द ट्रू लेन्थ डिजाइनेटेड लेन्थ. ओके, इफ चेन इज टु लङ इरर पोजिटिभ एन्ड करेक्सन इरर नेगेटिभ करेक्सन पोजिटिभ हुन्छ. इफ चेन इज टु सर्ट इरर पोजिटिभ हुन्छ एन्ड करेक्सन नेगेटिभ हुन्छ. इरर इन चेनिङ कस्तो खालको इरर हुन्छ त चेनिङमा? कुमुलेटिभ इरर कस्तो छ? एउटा छ कुमुलेटिभ इरर हैन. त्यसपछि गएर कम्पेन्सेटिङ इरर. कुमुलेटिभ र कम्पेन्सेटिभ इरर है त. कुमुलेटिभ ओकर्स इन सेम डिरेक्सन एन्ड टेन टु एक्युरेट. सेम डिरेक्सन टेन टु एक्युरेट. ओके, कम्पेन्सेटिभ इररमा चाहिँ मे ओकर इन आइदर डिरेक्सन दस टेन टु कम्पेन्सेट. ओके, इरोनियस लेन्थ अफ चेन टेप कुमुलेटिभ प्लस माइनस. ओके, ब्याड रेन्जिङ कुमुलेटिभ प्लस. ब्याड स्ट्रेन्थिङ कुमुलेटिभ प्लस. त्यसपछि गएर केयरलेस होल्डिङ मार्किङ कम्प्रेसिङ प्लस माइनस. एन्ड नन हराइजेन्टल्ली कुमुलेटिभ प्लस. स्यागिङ चेन कुमुलेटिभ प्लस 7. भेरिएसन इन टेम्परेचर कुमुलेटिभ प्लस माइनस ओके सरी यो प्लस 7 यसको बारेमा हेर्नुपर्ने छ ओके होइन एन्ड कम्पास सर्भे अब हामी पढ्छौँ कम्पास सर्भे बेरिङ द डिरेक्सन अफ अ लाइन विथ रिलेसन टु एनी मिडियन ओके एंगल द डिरेक्सन अफ अ लाइन with relation to each others meridian true meridian the meridian through a point okay is the line in which a plane passing that point and the north and south poles intersect with surface of the earth okay north and south poles intersect with surface of the earth magnetic meridian through a point is the direction so by freshly floating and balancing magnetic needle free from all other attractive all other attractive force arbitrary meridian भन्नाले चाहिँ arbitrary meridian is any convenient direction towards a permanent mark single such as church spire or top of a chimney okay true bearing horizontal angle which is makes with true meridian through one of the extremity of the line it is a consist quantity since true bearing is consist magnetic bearing horizontal angle which is makes with magnetic meridian through one of the extremity of the line magnetic compass is used to measure this arbitrary bearing horizontal angle which is make with arbitrary meridian through one of the extremity of the line theodolite or sectant is used to measure okay this we can see and designation of bearing ko designation the whole circle bearing azimuthal system whole circle bearing azimuthal system in this system the bearing of a line is measured with magnetic north south in clockwise direction the value of bearing thus varies from 0 to 360 degree prismatic compass is graduated in this system okay and the quadrantal bearing reduced bearing okay quadrantal bearing is reduced bearing in this system bearing of a line is measured either east west okay from north south whichever is near thus direction can either be clockwise or anti-clockwise the value of bearing varies from 0 देखि 90 degree सम्म हुन्छ and the quadrant on which the line lies have to be mentioned okay surveyor compass is graduated in this system and त्यसपछि गएर conversion of bearing from one system to another quadrant bearing to be one system बाट another कसरी गर्न सकिन्छ भन्दाखेरि 0 देखि 90 डिग्री चाहिँ reduce bearing is whole circle bearing and अब यो चाहिँ हामीले पढ्न सक्छौं है त यो पुरैलाई पढ्न सक्छौं 90 देखि 180 डिग्री आरबी 180 माइनस होल सर्कल बेरिङ इस्ट 180 देखि 270 डिग्री रिड्युस बेरिङ इज इक्वल्स टु होल सर्कल बेरिङ माइनस 180 साउथ वेस्ट एन्ड 270 देखि 360 डिग्री रिड्युस बेरिङ 360 माइनस होल सर्कल बेरिङ नर्थ वेस्ट भन्ने हुन्छ होल सर्कल बेरिङ अनि बेरिङ फर बेरिङ प्लस माइनस 180 डिग्री प्लस when for bearing is less than 180 degree and माइनस when forbearing is more than 180 degree. And अर्को छ traversing. This is the type of survey in which number of interconnected survey line from the framework and the direction and length of the survey line are measured with the help of an angle measuring instrument or a chain tape. Magnetic declination, horizontal angle between the true meridian and the magnetic meridian. True meridian and magnetic meridian. So by the needle at the time of obstacles of observation, it is called variation by Mariner. On the east side, said eastern positive. On the west side, said western negative. True bearing. Okay, true bearing. Magnetic bearing plus minus magnetic declination plus. Okay, plus when declination is towards east, minus when declination is towards west. Okay, and local attraction, any influence which prevent the needle from pointing north in a given locality, like underground pipes, steel chain, X ले गर्दा चाहिँ असर देखाउँछ. Error, instrumental, personal and natural error. General concept of labeling. Labeling is a fundamental technique in surveying used to determine the relative height or elevation of point on the earth's surface. It is essential for various construction, engineering and mapping project. Branch of survey, the object of which is to find the elevation of a given point with response to the given assumed datum, to establish point at a given elevation or at different elevation with respect to given assumed datum. Okay, label instrument. The main instrument used in labeling is a labeling instrument, which includes a telescope and a labeling bubbles. It helps surveyor establish horizontal line of sight and measure vertical difference in elevation. Okay, benchmark. A benchmark is a fixed reference point. एउटा फिक्स रेफरेन्स पोइन्ट चाहिँ बेन्चमार्क which a known elevation, एउटा known elevation हो. It serve as the straight point for leveling survey, allowing surveyor to establish elevation of other point relative to the benchmark. Height difference. Leveling measurement measures the height difference between 2 points, often referred to as the rise and fall. And type of labeling. Okay, there are different type of labeling, include different labels for precise elevation and difference. Profile labeling for determining ground profile along a path, and trigonometric leveling using trigonometric function to calculate elevation. And application. Labeling is crucial for construction project, road drainage systems, determining flood plain and creating accurate topographical map. Accuracy. The accuracy of labeling depends on the instrument used, the skill of the surveyor, and the care taken during the survey. Modern digital labeling instruments provide high accuracy and are widely used. Okay, look at this. And benchmark, B2, instrument level, optical level, labeling, food, direction of labeling, and datum. Okay, datum is any surface to which elevation are referred. Okay, surface up to which elevation are referred. MSL is a convenient datum, means level is convenient datum. Elevation, vertical distance above or below an arbitrary assumed level surface. Okay, arbitrary assumed level surface. Bata distance. Mean sea level, average height of the sea for all stages of tides. Average height. Benchmark, relatively permanent point of reference was elevation. Right, some WRT, some assume datum is no. Okay, station, points where level rod is held and not where level is set up. Okay, back side plus side taken on a rod held at a point of a known elevation to ascertain the height of the plane of sight. For sight minus side taken on a rod held at a point of a unknown elevation to ascertain the elevation of the point. uh, Intermediate station, point intermediate between two turning point on which only one side minus it takes to determine the elevation of the station. And turning point or change point is the point on which both minus sign and plus sign are taken on the line of direct level. Instrument is called dumpy level. Instrument is called dumpy level. Instrumentलाई चाहिँ डम्पी लेभल पनि भनिन्छ. Some other terminologies. Contour, it is an imaginary line on the ground joining the point of equal elevation. Contour interval, the vertical distance between any two convenient contour is contour interval. Characteristic of contour, contourको क्यारेक्टर हामीले पढौँ. Two contour line of different elevation cannot cross each other. Exactly. Contour line of different elevation can unite to form one line only in the case of a vertical cliff. Okay, and contour line close together indicate steep slopes, and far apart indicate gentle slope, and equal space indicate uniform slopes. Okay, and plane table survey, graphical method of surveying, एउटा graphical method of surveying in which field observation and plotting proceed simultaneously. Instrument use. Okay, instrument use के हुन्छ, the plane table. Okay, traverse table, Johnson table, coast survey table. Elidate, a straight edge with some kind of sunlight, sighting device, plane and telescope. Plumbing fork, it is used for certaining the table over a point or station occupied by plane table. And spirit level, a small spirit level is used for a certain if the table is poorly leveled. Compass, to orient the table in north direction called trough compass. Okay, now working operation, fix the table to the tripod. Leveling the table, the table is labeled by placing spirit label on the board. And centering, the table should be so placed over the station on the ground that the point plotted on the sheet and should exactly be above the station on the ground. Plumbing fork is used for centering the plane table. Okay, orientation, process of putting the plane table into some fixed direction so that line representing a certain direction on the plane is parallel to the direction on the ground. It is essential when more than one instrument station is used. Method system of plane tabling, radiation, method of angle and distance, intersection, triangulation, traversing or progression, or resection, okay. Resection, radiation or one instrument method is a method of plane table survey involve measurement along the ray, useful for large scale work, used when distance are small, used for locating the detail. Intersection is a method based on simple geometric principle, that is that if angle and one side of a triangle are known, the remaining side can be determined. This method is used when when the distance between the point and instrument station is too large or cannot be measured accurately due to some field condition. The triangles should be well conditions and angle of intersections of ray should not be less than 45 degree. And अर्को छ in traversing, the direction of traverse lines is directly observed and plotted when the help of the LED in the field itself. The table is set at each successive station. This method is generally used when all the stations are accessible and used for establishing the main survey line, road, streams of the skeleton, and loss frequency for locating the detail. Resection is employed mainly for locating point to be used as instrument station. It is a modification of instrument method. Okay. Rapid fire param. Surveying determine relative position of point above, on or beneath the earth surface. Measurement involve distance, direction and elevation. DDE. Plane have large scale and show mostly horizontal distance and direction. Map have smaller scales and includes elevation using contour or hardware. Maps show geographical position on the globe. Plane survey not. Plane survey assume a flat horizontal surface ignoring earth surface elevation, earth curvature within 12 miles radius. Geodetic survey account for earth curvature and is used for widely spaced point. And principle of uh, uh, principle of surveying includes locating point by two reference and working from whole to part. Photogrammetry use camera on plane or satellite for mapping. And boundary survey, okay. Boundary survey establish property line and land parcel boundaries. Control survey establish network of reference point, horizontal and vertical movement. Engineering survey provide point and elevation for civil engineering project. Topographic survey collect data on natural and man-made feature with elevation. Route surveys support long narrow project like highway and pipeline. Route survey. Hydrographic survey maps shoreline and underwater feature. Bathymetry. Chain survey measure only line distance and suits small open loss detailed area. Chain triangulation forms connected triangle as a framework for plotting. Survey station are permanent point on chain line. Main station start or end survey lines. Subsidiary or tie station lie on the chain line between main station. Survey line cannot connect survey station and should avoid obstacle. Main survey line cannot main survey line connect main station. The longest main line is the obstacles is the baseline. And and check or proof line verify accuracy by forming additional connection in triangles. And tie line connect subsidiary station and help record nearby detail. Offset measure lateral distance from survey line to group ground features. Perpendicular offset from 90-degree angle with survey line. Oblique offset do not. And offset method locates point using distance and usually right angle from chain line. Metric chain comes in length 5, 10, 20 and 30 metric with metric tail is. Gunter chain is 66 feet long with 100 link. 10 chain equal a furlong. 80 chain equal a miles. Engineer chain is 100 feet with 100 links measure in feet and decimal. Revenue chain is 33 feet with 16 link used mainly in cadastral survey. Steel bands are narrow flexible stitch stripe mark at interval used for accuracy. Cloth or line tapes are affected by moisture and shrinkage marking then loss accurate. Metallic tape resist strengthening and are more durable than cloth tape. And uh, and uh, in bar tape have very low thermal expansion suitable for high precision measurement. Arrow mark chain length on the ground, commonly about 40 centimeter long. Wooden peg mark station position, generally about 15 centimeter long. Ranging rod 2 to 3 meter help align pointing during chain. And ranging poles are longer 4 to 8 meter with flex for long distance alignment. Offset rod 30 meter measure offset and align offset line. Plaster length 1 meter softwood stripe assist ranging across depression or obstacles. Okay. White's paper stripe whites mark point visibly in cross section of contouring. And uh, and uh, plumbing bug will help mark pole vertical and transfer point from instrument to ground. Ranging fix intermediate point during changing to keep line straight. Direct ranging required both end of a line to be visible, can use line range or theodolite. Indicate reciprocal ranging is used when end are not intervisible. And chain length error cause measurement inaccurate. Okay, chain length error cause measurement inaccurate. Too long chain under measures distance to short chain over measure. Long chain under measure short chain over measure. Cross section formula adjusts measured length according to true and actual chain length. Okay, scales relates map plant distance to ground distance either numerically or graphically. Numerical scale example 1 centimeter बराबर 10 meter or representative fraction like 1 is to 1000. Graphical scale show subdivision lines cross-secting to ground length and appear on maps, and linear measurement includes pacing, pedometer, odometer, and chain. Error in chaining can be cumulative, always in one direction, or compensating, cancel out. Common error source: incorrect chain length, bad ranging, sag, temperature variation, and poor handling. And bearing is the direction of line relative to a meridian, and true meridian passes through geographic north and south poles, and magnetic meridian align with the earth magnetic field direction. Arbitrary meridian is any convenient fixed direction used temporarily. Bearing can be whole circle clockwise from north, or quadrant 0 देखि 90 from nearest north and south. Conversion formula relate whole circle bearing and quadrant bearing. And for bearing and back bearing differ by 180 ले फरक हुन्छ, एडजस्टेड डिपेन्डिङ अन भ्यालुज. Traversing connect a series of survey line to form a framework by measuring angle and distance. And magnetic declination is the angle between true north and magnetic north. Okay, true north and magnetic north varying by location and time. Local attraction cause compass error due to nearly the magnetic material. Okay, and labeling determine elevation related to a datum such as mean sea level or benchmark. And benchmark are permanent point with no elevation, and backside reading are taken on known point, foresight reading on unknown. backside known point बाट लिने र foresight unknown. टर्निङ पोइन्ट एलो चेन्ज इन डिरेक्सन. ओके, टर्निङ पोइन्ट एलो के गर्छ, चेन्ज इन डिरेक्सन while maintaining accurate elevation data. Contour join point of equal elevation and never cross except in cliff. Okay, cliff बाहेक अन्त क्रस हुँदैन. Contour spacing indicates slope steepness. Okay, cloth for steps, wide for gentle slope. Plane table survey involves simultaneous field of observation and plotting using instrument like elidate and spirit level. Method of plane table surveying includes radiation, intersection, traversing, and resection. Radiation, intersection, traversing, and resection. Orientation align the plane table with the field north direction, crucial for multiple section. Okay, and remote sensing and experimental design.